Absolutely nothing beats windshield time, a road trip, and good conversation in the car. Welcome to another episode of Dan the Road Trip Guy, where we have entertaining conversations about cars and road trips, life lessons, and maybe every now and then a little advice. I'm your host, Dan Neal, road trip extraordinaire, and now buckle up and enjoy the show. This past week, my good friend Jeff Zurcher and his family celebrated the life of his grandfather, George Buhler. Last year, Jeff recorded some clips with his grandfather, and I had the honor to assemble a few of these clips and share them with Jeff. And I want to share them with you, my listening audience. I believe you will be moved by Jeff's grandfather's stories. He lived a wonderful life, 105 years old, a World War II veteran, and he just had some great stories. And over the next few weeks, I'll share a few more of those stories with you. I hope they're both encouraging to you. I hope this might create an urgency for you, if you still have family living, that you'll record some of their stories before it's too late. I am so thankful for my friend Jeff Zurcher, who did just this with his grandfather. Now on to the episode.
Now, you were born in 1919.
Yeah.
And the Great Depression started 29. Talk to me about what it was like, the extent that you can remember as a young boy, young man.
Rents. You could rent a house for $25 a month. Regular 2-story house.
Yeah. Like a row house or just
regular house in town.
Yeah, Passaic.
You could buy a loaf of bread for 5 cents. A half a pound of liverwurst for a quarter. Fruit could one and 2 cents a piece, whatever you wanted. Pears of orange. And Mom she went to work at a rubber mill making washers for some kind of instrument. I worked on the tree gang then.
Yeah.
And I used to be every Friday night when I got paid. I used to go downtown to the Mohican Market and meet Mom, and then we do our shopping.
For the week?
With her pay and my pay for a whole week.
Yeah.
And then we was able to buy a whole pie for 5 cents.
Yeah.
What do you think we should do? An apple pie or a pumpkin? I said, let's get a pumpkin pie. And so we take it home at night, and that's it. That was the end of the pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
Well, we used to walk all the time, Jeff.
Yeah.
We walked 4 or 5 miles every day, didn't think nothing of it, going back and forth to work and going to the market.
Did you realize how tough the times were because you're in the middle of the Depression, or can you remember?
It was tough.
What made it feel tough, or?
Well, it was right after World War I.
Right.
And things were getting organized. And government, that's when President Roosevelt signed in the Social Security Act, which was good. One thing they did good, the Social Security Act. People were very cautious of how they lived, They didn't spend wild, and they didn't have used clothes so they could buy it. And that's it. We never had no scooters or bicycles, real bicycles. That's the one thing when my dad worked for the incinerator and furnace, he used to bring home broken bicycles.
Yeah. And
then we take them apart and make one good one out. We could fix those brakes. No, we never. We used to make we get an orange box, a wooden orange box, and a 2x4 about 4 foot long, and we get a pair of old Union skates, metal wheels, and we break them in half, and we make the scooter out of front wheels and back wheels.
Yeah.
And we had a box, and we used a tomato can for a light, and 2 sticks for a handle. And so we used to fly around with those things.
Yeah.
But it was bad on the sole of the shoes. And we didn't have, we couldn't send our shoes to the shoemaker.
Yeah. Cardboard
in them all the time.
Yeah, put cardboard in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably is tough in the wintertime.
That was another thing. If you could find an old pair of galoshes, nobody looked any too fancy in them days.
Yeah.
They just were more or less concerned about keeping well and healthy.
How do you think growing up in that era, especially losing your father so young, how do you think that shaped you into the man you would become later in life?
It made me realize what $1 is worth.
Yeah.
It made me realize in order to live, how you had to work.
Yeah.
And know, well, I can't do this. And you had to do it to exist. And you never had a decent pair of brand new clothes. You always had used overalls or something. My mother used to take suits and stuff from people, cut them down. She was terrific seamstress, and she'd make pants stuff for us. Boy, we thought we were $1 million.
Yeah.
But that's how we lived. We never had
Do you ever recall feeling like you got the raw end of the deal because you had to work for your brothers and your father passed away? Did you ever resent any of that, or is it just what it was?
No, I never did, Jeff, because I knew somebody had to do it. And I knew they couldn't do it because they were school age.
Yeah.
And I knew my mother couldn't do it alone. But she was willing to work, and so I went to work. I just did it. I'd come home some night frozen stiff from. And so finally on the job every morning we get on the bus. We have to be there at 6:30, and we get on the bus and take an hour's ride to where we worked.
Were there any other boys your age working, or pretty much men?
No, it was all men.
Yeah. What did you learn from them? Just hard work and how to provide for your family?
I learned what work meant.
Yeah.
I learned what you had to do and no excuse. My brothers always appreciated, they always thanked me for making them finish school.
Yeah. Did those men on that crew or other men you might have worked, did they kind of take you in eventually because you were younger and kind of look out for you?
No, they never bothered me.
No.
Everybody was on their own in them days.
So there wasn't a lot of camaraderie or togetherness?
It was on your own, boy. You had to make your own living.
Yeah. So nobody there was teaching you the ropes or looking out for you? Just kind of...
No deals, no nothing. If you couldn't make it, you couldn't make it. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I know you've told me this and we know this, but I just want to have this on record, how you and Grandma Rose first met, and then when you first
when I
laid
came out
eyes
of service, I used to skate around for racing. I used to wear jackets and pants and everything. Yeah.
That was your prizes
dude,
for winning like roller derby type of speed
roller
skating?
racing.
Yeah, in a rink or on the street?
Racing. The big tracks, we used to go different skate rinks, Camden, and so...
These were indoor.
Yeah, I used to win all my prizes racing.
Yeah.
I go like a sucker on 2 front wheels, never mind 4. And so one night I said to my mother, I don't know where to go anymore. I got no friends now,
This was after the war?
Yes, I think I'll try roller skating. That's before I started roller skating.
Yeah.
Got a roller skate rink, and I had one. I did skating because I won clothes. I had this jacket on.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there looking around, and I saw watching this gal and this guy, and they're fancy.
Yeah.
Man, I said, oh boy. I'd even dare to mention talking to her because, and I'm sitting there thinking about something. All of a sudden, here she comes flying across the skate rink. She says, do you mind if I talk to you a minute? I said, oh, come on over and talk. You could talk a whole hour if you want. And she said, no. She said, I just wanted to know if you look familiar. I just wanted to know if you knew a certain friend by the name. I said, well, I don't think so. I wish I did, but I said, I don't know. But I said, I sure like to know you, And, well, she'll talk about that. She says, we'll talk about that. And off she went. So before she went home that night, I said, hey, I'd like to see you again. She said, well, we'll see when I come back. So the next time she came, I had the car. I had Al's car. Say, oh, no.
Whose car?
Stepfather, Al.
Oh, yeah, Zaki.
Well, I had a car, and I thought, man, I got to have somebody in that car with me. So we started talking, and I said, hey, now that we know each other and we know each other's name, I said, I'd like to take you home sometime. She said, well, we'll talk about that too. So it didn't work. But the next time it worked. So I don't know whether she was thinking I'd better say yes before he's gone or else. But anyhow, it worked out. And we had a good relationship with Grandma. Mm. And she was She was just like my grandma Zaki. She helped everybody. She still was until the day she died. She turned out to be the best friend of all of them, boy.
Yeah.
They all like grandma.
So to clarify, she saw you sitting there and she approached you first.
Oh yeah, she came to me, so I know that was better than me going after her.
Was that common at all back in that time?
No, it wasn't common. She just thought I was a friend of somebody, and she had her eye on me. That was what it was. She had her eye on me, and she knew how to pull the trick.
So you were sitting there in your skating jacket, which when you went skating them down, you have a tie and shirt on. Yeah,
But
you had the attire that says you had won some races and things by then.
Huh?
You had won some skating races and things by then, right?
Oh yeah.
And so were you wearing that day so that she knew that, hey, this guy must be?
She knew I was racing too, but this night I went. I said to my mother, I don't have no friends down there. I don't know.
Because you were back from the war and things were different.
Well, from the army. And then she came over. So you don't think God don't work in mysterious ways?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So do you remember how that interaction went the first time Grandma Rose met your mom?
Like that.
They clicked?
They were always together. Well, I told Mom, I said, Mom, I think we're going to get married. We got to find a place to... She said, well, there's 3 empty rooms upstairs, bedrooms. Let's see, maybe we can make a kitchen. So we did it.
Yeah.
We put in this... We did all our work ourselves.
Yeah. You talked about how, especially during that time, Grandma was 100% Italian. You were German and Dutch, right? But how was talk just in general the relationships between different ethnicities? Remember,
everybody got together.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of problems between Irish and Italians,
we had Irish and Italians and Polish and Holland and blacks.
Yeah,
we played with Buddy Coulter. He was one of our friends that we used to play day in and day out together. Never thought anything about he's black and you're white.
Right, just kid in the neighborhood.
It's just.
What do you say? What would you say? I mean, you talk about God's goodness, which we know that's you've always given credit to Him. But what else would you attest to your longevity?
It was Him. It took care of everything. When I went out, when I had to go this way, He already had a direction for me.
Yeah.
Or how did I ever know that I'd be your grandmother?
Right. Yeah.
He sent her over there.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
He just made you fast on roller skates.
He just kind of told me what to say. That's what.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved her. Grandma, she was like my mother. She could do it out to see another person smile and to be happy.
Yeah.
And what was hers, brother. Yeah. Don't try to take it away. And she enjoyed seeing you and your dad and my brothers all sitting around that table eating her spaghetti.
Yeah. Do you think about heaven more now at 103 than you did at, let's say, 93 or 83 or 13?
I don't think about nothing now.
No.
When I put my head on a pillow and say, God, if this is it, this is it.
Yeah. So
I had my life.
Yeah.
I had my life. I saw my grandchildren, the great-grandchildren.
Yeah. So death or dying is not a thing.
No, that's no problem to me.
Yeah.
If I have to go tomorrow, just say, well, there it is.
Is there anything else you still want to do in life?
You know, there's things, Jeff, that I want to do, but I can't do.
But if you could, what would those be?
If I could, I'd do what I was doing now, what I'm doing downstairs, painting pumpkins and drawing. I got a whole book down there, pictures for the little ones, drawing dogs and cats and birds and all kinds of stuff. And then I draw for Jet. I got a picture of when he was born, a little boy, and then he's drinking a bottle of milk, and then he's growing up in a diaper, and then he's finally walking. Yeah. And so they put him in frames on the wall. Yeah.
Creating. Yeah. Right? Creating still. At 103 years old.
And you know what? I made more friends here than people that lived here all their life.
Yeah. Because of...
I'd say, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
And if they say so, I'd crack a little joke if I know how, and they laugh, and they, hey, where are you? Next day, where were you?
Yeah. Yeah, just engaging with people.
Yeah, I love people. I like Rosie.
Yeah.
Sure, you know what? When you can make people laugh, you got it made.
Yeah. And you think about Grandma often?
Oh, yeah. But I don't, you know what? There's no worry.
Right.
I know I'll see her again.
Until we meet up again, you can find me on the internet at dantheroadtripguy.com. I hope you will follow this podcast so that you don't miss any upcoming episodes, and share it with your family and friends so that they can enjoy the stories of my guests also. Until we meet again on a future episode, keep having conversations with each other and keep driving.